Dave Snyder here. It is October the 27th, 2012. Okay, so watched a video about a week and a half ago, something like that, about 2012 and the pole shift and all. But I think it's just basically about 2012 and the end of the world basically, which is not going to be the end of the world on December 21st. It's going to be a time of when things start to change over though, but it won't be that day everything will not end. Okay, it will not end that day. It's going to be a turnaround that'll start around that day. Okay, it's going to be a turnaround of probably the pole reversal will start as we go through the galactic equator. Things probably will reverse. The Earth shows all kinds of signs of it. They've got scientific research that shows that it's flipped many times the poles, and it attracts the moon to the Earth when this happens, I do believe, because there's prints of the moon all over the Earth. And in that video, anyways, the other day that I watched, it said it was reading out of this old Bible, not the Bible that everybody, not the common Bible, but some other Bible. And they read this little verse out of it. It said the line, and then the old line turned around. Okay, and they were this is the old line. Look at this right here. This crater is the old line. It used to face the Earth. This crater used to face the Earth because it's hit the Earth a whole bunch of times. This crater has hit the Earth more than one time. That's why it's a multi-ring crater. It's hit the Earth more than one time. Magnetically attracted to the Earth's poles. Just don't think about this being the Earth. This is just think about it being the moon. This is the moon in the sky. You see, it's looking. It used to look down at the Earth. This is the picture. The Mayan calendar is this picture of this crater right here. You can see the man with the tongue. You can see all the shapes. And if you look at like Google Moon, you'll see the pyramid on the top of it as well, with the light with a big bright spot right on the top of the pyramid, which is why the Mayans built pyramids. They used to see this. This used to face the Earth. Guarantee it used to face the Earth because it's hit the Earth all over the place. No doubt about it. It's hit the Earth. And I know people don't want to believe the moon's hit the Earth, but I'm telling you right now, it's more believable than Nibiru because you have all kinds of images for evidence. I mean, you can use all these moon images, reverse them, and put them on the Earth, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This crater right here shapes our whole world. Our entire planet is shaped by this crater right here on the moon, and it's bigger than they say it is. It is a Mars-sized planet that hit the Earth, and it's not. It didn't blow up and disappear. It's right there in the sky. You can go out tonight and see it. It's almost going to be a full moon pretty soon. I mean, you can go right out tonight and see the Mars-sized planet hit the Earth. It's right there. I mean, it's close still. So it didn't destroy something and create the moon. The moon has probably been around for a long time. It is the nemesis. It's the destroyer. It's the punisher. It's all kinds of things that it may not be Nibiru, but it's probably Planet X. Because I'm telling you, the moon, the prints on the moon, or the Earth and the moon, show every big impact on the moon is from an impact with the Earth. You can check it out. Watch my videos and check it yourself. But this is the old line. I got right now sitting right on my desk. I got this little figure of a lion with his big hair around his head, and it looks just like this. You see this how it comes down to a point down at the bottom right here. That's how a lion's head goes, like this. It comes down and just like that. Same thing. With the eyes, there's the eyes, however they saw it. But that's the old lion that turned around. They're either referring to it turned around and came back towards the Earth to hit the Earth again, or they're referring to it turning around and going to the side of the moon like this, making it so the side that faces the side of the moon that faces us now face us, and that area that you see, that we can all see when the moon's full, has hit the Earth too. It's hit the North Pole. You can check it yourself. Reverse the image, put it over the North Pole. You can't really put anything over the North Pole on Google Earth. You have to take the North Pole and you have to move it down here to the Pacific to use this as your canvas here, because you got to do it around the equator. It'll squeeze the picture. But that is the old line that turned around. And I'm sure there's so many other things, references that refer to this shape in the sky. I mean, it's the eye in the sky. I mean, all kinds of things refer to this in ancient times. I mean, you'll see. You can even watch. I know it sounds ridiculous, sounds stupid, but if you watch Sailor Moon musicals, and I know it sounds funny, but Japanese Sailor Moon musicals, and not all of them, but a lot of them, most of them, almost every one of them, they will refer to the dark moon, the white moon, the black moon, the white moon destroying the earth, all kinds of stuff in there. It being something that has repeated many times, and it's all in the words. It's translated and subbed into English, and you read the words as you watch it, and just as long as you know in your head that the moon's hit the earth, that you watch those words, you will understand that people know about it. Then people have it down, and I mean they might even have the 30th century part down, where the little kids from the 30th century comes into the 21st century, and they say that something happens in the 30th century, the black moon. That stuff, it all makes sense once you understand that the moon's hit the earth. It's fun to watch because you can see these kids acting this stuff out, and they don't even know what they're talking about. They might, I don't know. I mean, the Japanese probably all know, because it's hit over there a lot of times. I mean, it's most evident over in Japan and China. I mean, it's evident all over the planet, actually. Every continent, it's evident in every continent. People just don't look. They just want, it's too much hassle for people to look themselves, and they figured the scientists are going to tell them the truth, right? Well, that's where you got it all wrong. Scientists will not tell you the truth. A lot of it has to do with greed, back when they first discovered it, which is way back when they decided to go to the moon, which they never went, but that's a whole different subject. Anyways, the moon's hit the earth. That's the old line. I just want to point that out. That's it. It's right there in the Indian Ocean. Let me show you how it lines up in the Indian Ocean. I can show you all kinds of stuff. Just watch I've already showed a lot of it. Look right here. Look at the texture of India. Just check out India right here. Look at all this. Big crater right here in India. It's all the same thing. This line that comes through, hits right here in the Indian Ocean. Direct hit right there. You can see the lines that come down right here. This line in the ocean, right here. These lines match. The weather will match. There's the old line. Okay, so weather will match. You can see the pattern. Some days are better than others for the weather, but it will always fit. There's that, what is it? What do they call these? Typhoon. Right over this spot. A lot of times I see it come right out of this spot or this spot right here. It seems to spiral them off these areas right here where the moon's hit. This spot here and this spot here. There's Hong Kong right here. Right here. Look at this. This is Hong Kong. See the shape? Right here on the moon. Look. Right here. Okay, check this out. That's Hong Kong. Okay. And just take a look at the rest. Look at this up here in India. This goes here. I mean, I've confirmed it all kinds of ways. Oh, right here. Look at this down here. Even see these lines in the ocean. Then check this out right here. How this curve right here. Hold on. Let me be out there so you can see it. This curve right here. See, it comes down like this and like this. Look. Look on the Earth. Does the same thing right here. See this right here? How these lines curve. Watch. It's the same thing. You see all this volcanic activity right where that hits, and you can see these are big ridges on the moon right here, huge. And you see where it hits right in here, clearly, pretty clearly. It takes a little practice, but you see where that island is, right there. It goes right here. This is one of the better ones. I mean, one of the better ones. It's hard, not real easy to see, but when the weather does show this one real good, oh man, it is unbelievable when the weather shows that real good. It's unbelievable. It really is. Then you got the Indonesia, which they could be both the same one. As the land seems to play funny tricks with you sometimes. It's hard to realize where things were, but this goes right here too. Okay, Asia full. This is my new Asia one. I showed it already in my last video I just made, but this is just a perfect alignment of this too over Asia. It fits right there just like that, with the center being Mongolia, which is they call this the steppe, which this I guess is higher elevation, and no, it's not higher over here. It steps. I don't know if it steps down or steps up, but the steppe, it's going to do something, because this area is already lower than the outside area before it impacts, unless it's the first time Mare Orientale hit. And that's possible, because they call it Mare Orientale and it hits in the China. So I mean, it could be this could be the first time it hit, or it, you know, who knows. I mean, I can't. It's really gets difficult to figure things out the way the land moves, because look, you got to imagine the moon's hitting the Earth. Right? The moon's bigger than they say. It's a Mars-sized planet. It's hitting the Earth, so you got to figure anything is possible. I'm talking anything. Whole pieces of land being pushed off the top of off the other continent, or being slid off, or just anything is possible. You have to understand that anything would be possible at that point. And you could even count on something, big massive land chunks being flipped over possibly, like the Himalayas, where I pointed out before. I think the Himalayas were created right here, actually, at one time, with all the volcanic activity here, in this spot right here, and this being the Himalayas here. And just look at the Indian Ocean. It looks like a big slab, which could have been created from all this, which would be just rock from all this volcanic activity. You see the ridge here, you see a ridge here, you see all this volcanic activity here, and then you got Lake Victoria here. So you got to have a big chunk of rock right here. And if the moon were to hit right here, which it has hit right here, okay, it has to separate South America and Africa. It hit right there, and it hits over here, right here. You can see it. That's an impact. Okay, it hits all over the place. I'm telling you, people, it's just incredible. I mean, it really is. So I think it's possible that the Himalayas could have been here, flipped over, and flipped. You can look at the mirror. It's like a mirror image. If you draw a line down here, I've pointed this out before, but if you draw a line straight down. Look at both sides of that line. Look at that. It's like a mirror image on each side. So if there was a big slab of rock right here, and the moon hits over here, it's possible that it could flip. I don't know. That's kind of it's a reach, but I mean, you got to remember the moon hits the Earth. Anything's really possible. Anything. We're talking, biblical proportions. Biblical size, destruction. You can see, like, both sides match. You can see this side, it looks just like something, like a print from something big that happened over here. But I mean, it's something to look at. I'm not saying it happened, but it's something to look at, because anything at this point is possible. And like I pointed out before, when I first started doing these things, is like let me get this one shut off here. Which one it is? Here it is. Okay, so you take. See, I check out all the gold, the areas that have gold, and they point themselves out too when I do the overlays. They really do. Like the one that I showed in my last video. I don't know if I pointed this out, but which one is it? Oh, the one I just did. This one. Shows these gold mines, like these two gold mines. I guess those are in Georgia, I think. Right? And they found in Georgia, found like potato-sized chunks, like the size of a potato, chunks of gold back then. Just like really easily accessible when they first found gold there, I guess, apparently. Big rocks. And I just like to look and see I mean, this whole area, this all out here was, you know, could be gold. Was probably gold, but you see, it doesn't really hit much in. This part doesn't really hit much into the inland there. I might not even have it adjusted all the way yet, but I got it lined up. If you watch the last video I made, it's got the weather patterns. I lined this up with the weather patterns because they show the circle. Watch. Turn the weather off and on here. It follows this edge perfectly. And you it's starting to point itself out over here a little bit too. Anyways, I just really wanted to point out the line thing, so that I did that, and check it out. That's what I think it is. I mean, I know it is. If these images are correct, I know it is. Put it that way. All right, have a good day.